Show your patriotic pride with this flag quilt block. Hi, I'm Emily from Norton House Quilting and the founder of Quilting Your Legacy. And together, we are going to quilt your legacy. Today, we are going to make the flag quilt block. In this video, I am going to show you how to gather your fabrics, also what fabrics you will need to cut out. Technically, it is also a table topper, so you could turn it into a nice long table topper. I do have quilt kits available. In this video, this is going to be an intro as to how to make the quilt block. In addition to, you could turn this into a pillowcase, a hot plate, or even a wall hanging, or purchase the quilt kit and you'll be able to make a table runner. I'm going to feature the fabrics. There are 3 different fabrics that you will be using to sew with, 4 fabrics if you will be making the quilt kit. There is an accompanied PDF sewing guide. You have to purchase the pattern because this is not my pattern. This pattern is from Villa Rosa, so it is a $2 pattern, and then I will also email you the PDF guide. That way it'll walk you through how to create the table topper or just the quilt block step by step. And right now we are also going to sew the patriotic block right now. And again, right in this video. Let's gather our fabrics right now. So again, here is our quilt block here. I'm going to go ahead and set this right to the side. So we are going to take our feature fabric, which is our square. Then we are going to take our first strip. So the first strip will be the red. Then we will need the white, and then we will need the red again. So when we sit to sew, this is our first unit here. So we are going to place our fabrics right sides together. And then we will go ahead and sew this for our first unit. After we sew a 1/4 inch going all the way down, we will then take our next fabric and sew it right sides together again. Then for our second unit, we will go ahead and grab another white. We will grab another red. And again, this is for our second unit. Then again, and then our final. And again, this will be for our second unit. So first we're gonna sew the top, then we're gonna sew our feature fabric onto our first unit. Then we will go ahead and sew our second unit. Let's get sewing now. So first unit, we're gonna place our fabrics right sides together. And let's go ahead and sew this. I'm gonna go ahead and take my second strip so that I don't have to walk again. So I'm gonna take my second strip with me to get ready to sew. Okay, so I've got our strip for the first unit. Looks like I don't need to pin it, so I'm gonna go ahead and start sewing now. Okay, let's go ahead and start sewing. So now we're going to go ahead and open up our strip, and we are going to need to have our white in the center. So we're going to take our, okay, so we just got our strip sewn on. Now that we have our white strip sewed onto the red, we are going to sew our second red strip right onto the white. So because this is exactly the way that we want it to go, we are going to place our fabrics right sides together and then go back to sewing. Okay, so I am going to stick a pin in the center so that my fabric strip doesn't get wiggly on me. So now that we have my fabrics right sides together, 1/4 inch going all the way down. And now that we have unit number 1 sewn, we have our red, white, red. Next, we're going to go ahead and press our seams going away from the white. So we are pressing towards the dark side. And then that will complete unit number 1. Then we're going to add our feature square right onto it so that, and then we're going to go ahead on to unit number 2. Let's iron. Here is our first unit. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over just like this. And then with my iron, I am going to go right down the side. I'm just kind of pulling, very gently so that I get the nice crisp seam like so. And then we're gonna do that exact step. We want the fabrics to go towards the darker side. Now that we have our unit sewn on, we are going to place our feature fabric just like so. It'll go in the left hand side. So because this is exactly the way we want it to go, we are going to place our fabrics right sides together. Let's go ahead and get back to sewing. Okay, so I did place some pins right on it. I am a super pinner. I cannot help it. So we've got some pins right on there. Let's go ahead and pull out our first fabric. Pull out our second pin. Okay, so now we have our first unit sewn onto our feature fabric. Let's go ahead and just set this to the side because next we are going to sew our second strip unit together. Let's go. Okay, so again, with our second strip unit, we have our white, then we have the red, then we have the white, and then last but certainly not least is the red. Let's go ahead and place our fabrics right sides together. And yes, I'm gonna go ahead and put these fabrics right sides together. Okay, now that we have our fabric strips, let's go ahead and get back to sewing. Okay, so now we are going to sew our second unit, super long strip, going all the way down. Okay, now that we have that, let's just set that to the side. We will go ahead and do that exact step a second time. Okay, so now that we have our two strip units like this, first, we need to have our white, red, white, red. So let's go ahead and add our two fabrics together, right sides together. Okay, so now that we have our strip unit officially sewn for unit number 2, we have white, red, white, red. Let's go ahead and press our seams, and then we will also press our first unit. And then we are on the final step of sewing our two units together. Right. So I am just going to press all of my seams going down. I do acknowledge that you will see it on the white. Okay, so now that we have our second unit all nice and pressed, we are going to press our first unit here. Let's go ahead and press our seams going towards the feature fabric. And then we are going, whoopsies, okay, that's better. So then we are going to go ahead and sew and pin these two blocks together. So before we start sewing, let's just make sure that we have our two units the way that they need to be, which is red, white, red, white, red, white, red. And then we have our feature fabric in the top left-hand side. Because this is exactly the way that we want it, let's place our fabrics right sides together. I am going to stick a pin in them. I'll stick a pin here, another pin here, and then let's get back to sewing. More final pressing, but we officially have our quilt block all done. This is a patriotic quilt block. Thank you so much for sewing with me. All the information is right in the show notes, and I look forward to sewing with you very soon. Bye for now. So now we officially have our patriotic block sewn. It will need one final pressing. All of the information is right in the show notes, whether you want to make the quilt block or make the table topper, because hopefully I have a few of the table topper quilt kits for you. Thank you so much for sewing with me. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. And if we haven't met before, hi, I am Emily from Norton House Quilting and the founder of Quilting Your Legacy. And I really look forward to sewing with you soon. Bye for now.